All right, welcome to the middle of the Tampa NXL breakdown. So remember, these are always my first impressions, so don't take this as gospel. I'm looking at it for the first time just like you are. So make sure that you watch the other ones as well for the snake side and Dorito side, so that way you can get the whole picture. Because if you just go in with half or a third of the info, you don't got the whole picture. You're not gonna do great. So from this back center, there are some little kind of sneaky shots you can get. So like we had talked about in the snake one, this shot through here, you have to be careful if someone's shooting straight back at you, but you do have a shot into the snake and the snake corner. So if they try to go wide, you could maybe catch a player coming this way. But if you take a little bit of a step out, I want you to look at this. Sorry, the line isn't gonna be perfectly straight, but you have that shot and you have this shot. So the reason why these are good shots is that way you can see how far did they go on the Dorito side. The snake side's gonna be tough. You gotta probably assume that they're in the snake, and once we get further up the middle, you'll see that there's some other spots you can get to. But these two shots here, maybe even having two people delay could be something. I'm sure that we'll try it with Miami Effect, doing some crazy stuff, but that's what practice is for. So to try all the craziness. And technically, I was just about to pass this one up. Look at this shot. So you could maybe even shoot through there. Is that gonna be a great shot? Probably not. But if someone is going super, super deep and then coming up, being able to pull back and see that could be something that you catch that player, then they did all that running for nothing. So let's come up to the middle. So you can see as I'm coming up, the back center can shoot through this gap and through here. Now they're gonna have to step out a little bit. I think they're gonna have to step out a little bit because the wedges are a little bit bigger. But someone that's matching you is gonna be able to shoot back through those channels as well. So just know that as you're coming up, you're gonna have to kind of, we were talking about it in our group chat, it can be a trap, but if you are sneaky and you're going around, you're gonna be able to do some good stuff. Now this was something that I saw. There's two spots that you can do this. As you're gunning up into this tower, you can shoot into this Dorito. Technically, I didn't even see this until now. You could take a knee right here and shoot into that Dorito as well. So if you see them really committing and you stop, you can shoot right into that gap and still be relatively safe, unless they're running and gunning into the snake corner. The issue is that you're probably gonna be blocking a lane for someone shooting at the snake side. So just know that. You do have the same shot gunning up into the snake as well from here, which this tower is really good to be able to shoot down. Now it looks a little blind here. If I can, come on, move. There we go. So I'm gonna go a little bit higher so you can see this. If you, actually I'll go a little bit higher so this way, like I said, so that way you can see it. You can see this little green area right here. If you skim it over the top and drop it in from this tower, shooting into that snake 2, they're gonna be able to make it from snake 1 to snake 2. I don't think you're gonna be able to shoot them there, but shooting into that gap, you're gonna be able to stop them from moving up into the snake 3. If you come off that gap, assume that they probably made it. This snake, you can get up and do some damage. I'm wondering actually if there's a bounce off this wedge into maybe back over here somewhere. You might wanna check to see where those bounces come in from or go into. But you are able to, let me get a good shot here so that way you can see it as well. You can see a little bit of the edge right there. If you push up into the bunker, I think you'd be able to get this shot. It doesn't look as good as when I saw it in the snake, but I think you'd be able to get this as well. You can shoot into that gap and be able to help stop some issues. Yeah, so you see if you push up, you can see into there. You're gonna have to flood that with paint, but it is going to be something that would be helpful. Now let's go over to, actually I need to back up so I can show you this shot that I saw. So this shot, off here, if you take a knee, you can shoot there and there. So you're able to shoot into, I know you're not saying shoot above the Dorito. You can shoot into the Dorito 1 and the Dorito 2. Of course, the home can shoot into you, so you need to make sure that you are being aware of that, but you might be able to just kind of sit and shoot. Or if they keep kind of going out and up and trying to use the Dorito side, you might be able to catch them on the way up. When you come up into here, you're gonna be able to have eyes the whole way up on the Dorito side. You could even see the middle, and you're relatively safe Come on. Why are you not letting me turn? Okay, well, it's not letting me turn. So they have to get further up the snake side to be able to shoot you. So you don't really need to worry a whole lot about that. But you can see these gaps. Actually, ooh, I kind of like this tower a little bit more now. Initially, I was kind of iffy about it, but you can see here, there we go. Now it's gonna let me turn. So you can see here, so if they haven't gotten to the Dorito, you have this gap. If they have gotten to the Dorito, you can stop them from going to the Dorito 3. And if they have gotten here, you could shoot into here. Now the issue you need to make sure that you are aware of, they can still get into this brick, this little brick, and maybe be able to surprise you. So this isn't 100% of a shot. This one, you're 100% seeing where they're at. But if they get to this Dorito 3, don't assume that they're gonna stay there. They can come around, use this 50 brick to block them out and go straight up into there. So it's not gonna be 100% that you are safe. So let's look at this wedge. Now this wedge, you would be able to shoot into that Dorito 3 as well. It's not as good. You can shoot into the 50 here. And let's see if I back up a little bit, if you can see. So you have that shot into the Dorito 1 as well on the way up. If we flip snake side, you can see here, there's a little bit of a gap into here. So that's that little offset little W, but you'd be able to stop them from making that move. The issue is that they can make the move on the way up and you're not gonna be able to see it. They're gonna be able to come all the way through here. If you're patient, you could technically back up a little bit and wait for them here. So like we were talking about, you can shoot into this gap. You wouldn't be able to shoot into, if you back up a little bit, let me click this so I can back up. If you back up a little bit, you'd be able to see into the that 50 snake, but you're gonna end up getting shot by, you know, someone over on the Dorito side. So this center wedge looks like you'd be able to help kind of either way, just depending on what it is that you're trying to do. Now I'm curious, how useful is this pin? Now this pin would be something completely different. I think it's a little bit iffy, definitely be kind of scary to do, but you can see right here, you have a great shot into that gap, and then also a great shot into that gap. The only issue is that you are very exposed to other sides of the field. So the wedge, they just need to wrap that Dorito and they're going to end up being able to get you. So let's keep going up the middle here. Now I think utilizing these beams, I know some people don't like the beams, but utilizing the beams to actually move up is gonna help you to block out from certain sides. So if you're trying to block out the Dorito, you can crawl up. Also, someone that's heads up is probably gonna be able to see you because they can shoot down, but you know, maybe you can use it to kind of block some people out. So let's move up into here. Let's look Dorito side first. So as we look Dorito side, you could help with shooting into this Dorito gap right here, but it's not gonna be anything like, I don't know, I kind of feel like someone's gonna be able to shoot off of this and bounce it into you. So it's gonna make it kind of hairy to stay there. But and we talk about this in the snake video, but if you look here, you can see how great of a shot you have down into that outside snake, down into the snake 3, and then of course you have an amazing shot here. So if they are, maybe they get past your gap and you move up into this wedge, you're able to shoot down on them to be able to get that elimination, to then be able to make the moves down the field that you need to. I don't know if it's going to be super effective to look this way for Dorito side, but you know, it is what it is. Let's look at this little can. I don't know how effective this can will be because you'd have to straddle the beam there, but no, that's, I guess I've done it before, but yeah, you don't really need to worry about that. So let's move around and go to, I'm gonna look here as we're moving up. So looking snake way first on this Dorito side wedge. Yeah, you're really not gonna be able to do a whole lot. Looks like a little bit into there and a little bit on the outside, but they might be able to get low enough. That'd be something that you'd want to check out. The interesting thing that I kind of like and don't like at the same time with this is that you're protected from the other wedge. So if someone gets to the other wedge, they have to either back up and try to clip you if you're looking this way, or if they're on the opposite side, you have to jump the beam to go and get them. You can't see across here into them. So that definitely changes some things. It's not like you can come up into these wedges to be able to eliminate anyone in the middle. You're gonna have to go and commit through. Now, something that with this, I'm gonna get down like I was kind of crouching a little bit. This there's definitely going to be a bounce off here somewhere. So just know that you might need to come off a little bit. But you do have this shot going into the Dorito 2 to Dorito 3. So that's going to make it really difficult for the Dorito players to be able to make that move. Now, the counter to that is they might actually be the ones that have that shot. I'm wondering if I get rid of that, I'm wondering if the inside shot and the outside shot would bounce into this player. So this might not actually be the bunker that you'd want to be at to stop the Dorito side. The counter to that statement, I don't think that it doesn't look like the Dorito 1 is well, I guess they can kind of wrap a little bit. But you'd be able to shoot into this gap and then into this gap. So if they haven't gotten down the field, then absolutely you can use this to hold someone. Just because, you know, as they try to fill out, you have a humongous gap right here that you can shoot through and they're not going to be able to do anything about. So let's actually look at this can. It wasn't something I don't know, you never know. Sometimes there's some good shots. The only issue with this can is that you're in this kind of no man's land. So if I back up, you can see, I mean, I have a wedge that I could dive into, but the only other option would be to try to jump over and go into here, and that's going to be easier to shoot me. At least this wedge I can slide to, but I have to jump over that. So it's not really like the best thing, but what I do like is this shot going into the Aztec and into this tower. And then as we come up, this would actually probably be better. It's kind of hit and miss. This is kind of like a 50-50 kind of thing. So the wedge and this both have good shots holding this gap, and then amazing to be able to hold anyone from the back center being able to fill out. So for sure there's going to be some bounces. Like I'm pretty sure there's a bounce off here into the can. So you just want to make sure that you're kind of listening for that if you need to get out of the way of it, or just kind of tuck in. I don't know. Let's look. I mean, if we want to play this correctly, we should look. Yeah, I don't really see, I mean, I guess if you wanted to sit here, you could kind of shoot into that gap. I don't really see a reason to do that. Let me see if I can hop over and look this way. Yeah, there's not really anything there. What if I get to here and let me get down? So let's see. I don't know if it's worth the risk to play this beam across like that, just because, yeah, I mean, you can lay down, but I mean, they get into your snake and you're just destroyed. I feel like you can do a lot of the same jobs from that wedge. You might want to go here just to kind of like sneak a shot on someone, but just to be creative. But I don't see the benefit of trying to like play this beam. So that's just something to think about. But that's the middle. Oh, I forgot to go over to their side. So I'll get up a little bit and go over to their side. Now this would be kind of weird because you're either straddling the beam or you're having to just play one side. This is definitely something you'd be doing in a closing situation. You wouldn't be coming up and trying to straddle it like this and shoot one way. I guess it's possible, but yeah, I don't see. I mean, you can really shut down the snake and really shut down the Dorito side, but you have to straddle the wedge or straddle the beam to do that. So take that how you will. I don't think it's going to be super effective, but of course, if you're closing out, the world is your oyster, so you can kind of just go around. So that's the middle. Thank you guys for watching. Be sure to watch the other videos for the snake side and the Dorito side. There's going to be some overlap of information, but to be effective on the field, you need to know what the other shots are that they have on you. So just because you can shoot someone doesn't mean that it's the best thing that you can be doing. You also need to make sure that you know who it is that can eliminate you. So, but yeah, tell me, did I miss anything? Put it down in the comments down below. How do you think the middle is going to play? And I will see you guys in the next one. And as always, remember, watch, learn, win. Thanks.